Why can I understand English but struggle to speak? Are anxiety or the fear of judgment a reason? How do I overcome the mental block when I try to speak? What specific steps that can I take to speak English fluently? Are there any techniques or daily routines that helps me to speak English fluently? Do I need to memorize vocabulary, grammar, or just start to speak? Is it too late to learn if I'm an adult? These are the questions that I'm going to answer in this video. If you want to know the answers for all these questions, stay tuned. So if you don't know about me, I'm Sharmi Gloria. I'm a non-native speaker of English. I learned English by my own without going to any special classes or any special spoken English classes. So here on this channel, I teach the non-native speakers, the English learners, to achieve fluency in a faster pace by using simple tips and techniques. If you're new here, consider subscribing. So let's get into the video. Why can I understand English but unable to speak? So there may be so many reasons. I'm gonna focus on the main two reasons today. Their first one is mental block and the second one is fear of judgment. Okay, so what is this mental block? So when you watch a video, you understand, right? You understand very well. You know about the grammar, in what tense, in what sense they are speaking, everything you know. But when you open your mouth, you're stuck in the middle. And some of you might have experience like you speak very well when you are practicing in home, when you think about something in your mind, but unable to deliver it when you start to speak. So the first reason I'm going to say is the mental block. The mental blocks, it occurs when you are anxious. And when you are anxious, your brain's fear center activates. So it suppresses the prefrontal cortex, which is used to think or process the language or to deliver the language. So when you are feeling stressed, when you get anxious, your brain gives a signal that you are afraid and your brain's fear center activates. In this situation, in this condition, even if you know the correct vocabulary, you will not be able to deliver it. Your stress, it hijacks your brain and your brain will not be able to process the thoughts, or it is unable to articulate the thought that you have in your mind already. So the first reason is you get anxious when you start to speak, and so when you get anxious, you may be having so many questions in your mind. What would this person think? And will I able to deliver it properly? Will I make a mistake? Will my pronunciation be right or wrong? So these questions arises in your mind and it blocks you from thinking. And the second reason is fear of judgment. And some people, they won't feel anxious at all, but they fear for the judgments. They fear for the negative comments from the listener. Sometimes some learners, they obsess over sounding perfect. So your perfectionism, it just paralyzes the action. It will not allow you to jump into action. It will not allow you to speak. So I'm gonna give you some ways to avoid it. The first one is gradual exposure. You are going to start to speak in a low pressure environment. For example, have a self talk or speak to yourself in your home. Okay, frame the questions that you want to answer. Just frame the questions, be both the characters, the listener and also the speaker. And you've practiced the conversation in home. If you have a positive vibe friend, you can talk with them. So it's like you should not afraid of the person that you're talking. It may be you or your best friend who never criticizes you for taking a great effort. One thing is you can use a low pressure environment to have a practice, and some of you may in a situation that you have to speak. So what method can you apply? So there you should reframe the idea about the mistakes that you have in your mind. Mostly the new learners, they start to develop a habit of thinking that mistakes are a great crime, but it is not. Okay, mistakes are part of learning. So when you make a mistake, you come to know that, okay, this is wrong, I'm going to correct it, and you just grow from it. You learn something from it. You change it next time when you speak. So that's how it works. And treat the mistakes or treat the errors as data. And from that data, you collect the information that you need and improvise it and improve it later on when you use this. So overall, don't consider mistakes as failures. So every mistake is a feedback. So you get some information from it and you change it when you talk the next time. And also, remember to take a deep breath before starting a conversation. What happens when you take a deep breath? It just calms down your nervous system so that you will be able to deliver what you have it in your mind. Because you already know English, you understand English, and you know how to speak. The thing is, you are unable to speak, right? So you have to cool down your nervous system before you start to speak. And at that time, you keep it in your mind mistakes are not failures, they are stepping stones. So now I'm going to give you some practical solutions that I tried and it worked very well for me. The first one is shadowing technique. I never ever fail to tell you to follow this shadowing technique. If it works for you, you can follow it. Otherwise, you have to find another technique that works for you and that you love. So shadowing technique is a great way to improve your speaking. You understand English and you can frame sentences in your head. Everything is in your head, but you are unable to deliver it. Maybe it's because your mouth muscles are not adapted to the new language. To develop that, you have to follow the shadowing technique. So when you do the shadowing technique, you learn so many things, how you have to move the muscle. You are going to speak aloud, and that gives you a practice of speaking this new language. And another one is daily self-talk. That is important. And you may say that I don't have time to practice this English language, or I don't have time to speak this language, but you can have your self-talk. You are available all the time to yourself. So whenever you have a self-talk, you can speak in English. When I say that as a self-talk, it doesn't mean that you have to find a separate time to sit at a place and practice this. You can just speak while you're doing some work. Maybe you're walking in kitchen or you are in the living room watching something. You can describe what you're doing. For example, you are making a coffee. So you can say that I'm making a coffee. It smells amazing. After I make this coffee, I'm going to drink it. Oh, that would be so awesome. Speak to yourself. The other one solution is language chunking. So I usually recommend the learners not to learn the isolated words, not the separate words. Learn it in phrases so that you can use it in a proper time and you no need to frame the sentences on the spot when you talk with someone. So this gives you a great confidence. So when you have this habit of learning phrases or having this language chunking method, and when you talk to someone, you will sound so natural. You will say every dialogue so naturally. If you really want to have a structured practice, you can have some, allotted time for learning this language, like 15 minutes or 20 minutes for that. Or you can join in any other language exchange apps where you can find a tutor or you can find a speaking partner to speak with. That also works. If you're okay with that, you can have the structured practice method. Now, some of you may have the question like, do I have to learn grammar, vocabulary, or start to communicate? And my recommendation is start to speak immediately. So if you can understand, if you can frame the sentences in your head, then I'm sure that you are good at grammar and vocabulary. Don't deceive yourself by thinking that you are not good at grammar or vocabulary. If you can understand, if you can frame sentences in your head, it means that you are good at grammar and vocabulary. So the remaining part is start to speak. Get into action. And the next question, if you are watching in your 30s and 40s and you may have the question, is it too late to learn this language at this age? And I would say it's not. Adults can easily learn this language. Children, they are good at learning. They get the accent faster. At the same time, adults, they excel in structured learning. So you can too. Finally, how can I achieve this fluency faster? The first thing is set realistic timeline. So some people, set the timeline like I have to practice for half an hour or 1 hour, and when they are not able to finish the practice in the practice time, or when they don't get the time to practice on that particular day, they will get frustrated. So set a realistic timeline like 15 minutes or 20 minutes according to your working schedule. You can schedule the time and practice. And you should remember that your achievement, it depends on your goal and your exposure to this language, and it depends on how desperately you want to learn this language. If you have a proper driving force to learn this language, you will achieve the fluency in a faster pace. Second one is learn with immersion. So immerse yourself in the environment that you have to speak this language, and create an environment that you have to use this language all the time. Watch all the videos in English. So sometimes if you like to watch news channel, watch the news channel in English. When I say immerse yourself in an English environment, it doesn't mean that you have to go to abroad where you see every people speaking in English. No, it does not. Create an English bubble around you. So when you open your mobile, when you watch some videos, watch the videos in English. Or you have a friend circle, or create a friend circle who speak in English, so that you can also speak with them in English, sharing your experiences, sharing your mistakes, sharing your improvement. And it is a great effort to immerse yourself in this language. So that's it for today. I believe this video was helpful. If it is so, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. I'll meet you with another video next time. Bye.